Are you ready? I'm Rhonda.
I'm Howard.
I'm Anthony.
Lucas.
Imagine a classroom where 21 students are struggling over one problem. There's 6 kids that are having a really difficult time and there's only one of you as a teacher. This can sometimes cause a lot of confusion and a lot of stress for the students. They don't know what's going on and they're really upset because they just need help and there's no one there to help them. A paraprofessional can also be in the room to help these kids. Part of the problem is that right now schools have had so many budget cuts that the students are not able to have the paras because the school cannot provide to employ them. Teaching statistics show that 46% of the teachers are not teaching after 5 years. Because of this, a lot of people think that is because they have so much on their plate as teachers for themselves. Kids are often failing and need help with their to get better their grades, and that is also something that a para can help with. To begin, students are often emotionally affected by not having enough teachers in the classroom to help them. When you have a student sitting beside you and they don't know what's going on, it can make them be very stressed out and they have a hard time focusing on what to do. These kids then go to their next class and are already frustrated prior to the class that they were in and are having a hard time focusing on their next subject. This can just make for a long day for everyone and the kids are having trouble with their classes. They then can sometimes act out and this causes a lot of upset for the whole entire school. To begin, emotions and the confusion of not having enough paras or enough help with the students is what I'd like to focus on. Children sometimes can get affected by this and feel more confident if they have someone to help them. Having a para that is one-on-one can be beneficial because the students can be taken out of the room and worked with one-on-one to get help. The teachers that are paras have to take them out of the room and teach them things one-on-one that they don't understand. Often the teachers can show you what they are working on with their classes, but you have to go do it on your own and you have to come up with different ways that the kids can learn. You can build off of what the teachers have already shown you and what they've already taught the kid, but you are in charge of how to teach it yourself. I personally believe that it is a little bit harder being a para because you don't have all the teaching that the teachers have had, but you have to come up with ways on your own. Testing is required for all students, and because of this, if the students are failing, the school often will get in trouble. And so the paras have to take the students and help them on the subjects that they're not understanding. If the school does not pass with the testing that all the students have to take, then the school can often sometimes not get the money that they are funded by the government and they can get in really big trouble. Third, learning disabilities in schools has grown majorly. Now this can include sometimes a learning disability, which could be someone that struggles from just having some ADHD, or it could be something as simple as just having a behavioral problem, and these students often have paras with them all day. The para's job then is not only to make sure that the kid feels comfortable in the classroom and feels like they can actually accomplish things, but they have to also present the information to the child. And they have to also work on getting them ready in their curricular activities and not just watch their behavior. But a lot of the times the behavior will get in the way. A para sometimes becomes the only friend that kid has because of the way that they are feeling with their classes and they're very stressed out. 4.5% of kids in the U.S. in schools have autism or a learning disability. 2.7% of those are speech and language, and all over 12.9% of the total enrollment is students with a learning disability that sometimes will need help. A big problem is that there's not enough money for the students to be able to receive the help that they need, and so some of them are not being as successful as they should be. Also, paras can help the students that do not speak English as well. Some paras are hired if they know how to speak another language, and then they can help the student be able to translate things and be able to help them. Lastly, I'd like to focus on the budget cuts and the way that it has affected the students. Over the past 2 years, 3,700 positions have been removed from Kansas for paras. About $100 million has been cut in budget cuts all over if you count for the schools. A lot of the children are no longer getting the help that they need, and we are putting a lot of pressure on our teachers to just teach them by themselves. When kids are struggling, they need help, and it's kind of hard to do that when we don't have enough people there to support them. Being a para does not pay much. You get paid a lot of the time $9 an hour to $10.25. And you're basically required to do the same things that a teacher would do. Sometimes even more, because you're kind of making your own plans and trying to help the kids out as best as you can. Sometimes this can be concerning because that the help for the students is where we saw most of the cuts when budget cuts were brought up and when they started to take a big toll on the schools. This has caused a lot of people to be upset and angry, and we've seen a decline in people becoming teachers over the past years. Behavioral students acting out also can cause a lot of the teachers a lot of stress. Sometimes it's hard if you have no one in there to help you and you have tons of kids acting up. There's just one of you and there's 20 kids, and if you have a kid really upset, I think it's hard as a teacher to be able to just separate them and be able to calm them down when there's just one of you. And often paras are there and they can help you with the students because they're trained specially to help do those things. Paras are often not recognized, and sometimes they just are often looked at to be a babysitter. And sometimes they don't think that is true. They help remove the negativity and sometimes help the students a lot more than people would understand. In conclusion, paras are expected to do a lot more for less pay. It is a very rewarding job, and I think that people who do our paras often love the kids more than people can understand, because you're not paid very much, but you do spend a lot of time with those kids, and you have to just remember that you're there to take care of the students, and just like any teaching job, you are there just to help them and to better them so that way you can prepare them for life. And the students are the number one priority.